ABC, friends, family, whoever. I have some really exciting news. Well, it's really exciting to me, and I think it will be to some of you as well. Look what I have. It's a reference lacquer I just got today. I don't know if you can read that. I've been alluding to this project for a while. Y'all met Sam Bird. Last Christmas, he was here in this room. We recorded a bunch of music. I mixed it. It's been mastered. And yes, it's been cut for vinyl. So the title is Rodger Coleman and Sam Bird, Cosmologies. Yeah, this was just cut today. I just played it at home, and it sounds really good. You know, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't feel really strongly about the quality of the music. I do this for fun. I do this because my soul requires it. And for the longest time, if you've been watching, you know, this room used to be a disaster. Literally. Dangerous to be in. My nephew, Brian Totoro, Brian, if you're watching, hey man. He said, hey, I can help you fix it up. And so this is what I have now. Got some drums, got Pro Tools. He showed me how to run it, a crash course. And I recorded all this music with Sam, and we put together an LP that I'm going to put out on vinyl. Limited edition of 200 copies. Mastered by Richard Dodd. It was mastered last week. I got to meet Richard Dodd. Now, he also mastered my CD, which some of you know about. Richard Dodd's a big deal, man. He hasn't done a lot of producing, but as an engineer, he's way up there. He's been around since the early 70s. Proper British gentleman. And he's worked for everyone from Robert Wyatt and Pete Sinfield and George Harrison and Tom Petty, Traveling Wilburys. You know, if you don't know he's such a big deal, you might know about this guy, you know. And if you look right there in pretty big letters, Engineers Richard Dodd. So yeah, he mastered my CD, but I didn't get to meet him. My nephew knows him, and we just exchanged files. But this time I got to go over and listen to a bit of it in his mastering suite, which was amazing. He was just such a neat guy, and it was all I could do not to just badger him with questions. Like, oh, what's George Harrison like? You know, man? Be a drooling fanboy. And he probably would have put up with that, but we were talking about electric pianos. It's not a real piano on this. But he was very complimentary about the sound. I was really, I don't know if he was blowing smoke, but he didn't have to say that. He was really pretty impressed. Took him less time than he thought it was going to take. Anyway, he did volunteer a story, which I'm going to share. So we were talking about electric pianos, and he said, oh, at home I've got a Yamaha, I should look this up, some very boutique, old 70s Yamaha electric thing. It's programmable, he said, using leather strips, code. And he's like, oh yeah, just give it to me about Godly. You know the band TCC? Yeah, Godly did. My wife would like me to get rid of it, but I can't get rid of it. Is that cool or what? You heard that keyboard on that song, Not in Love. So I'm, you know, in his little lair, hanging out with Richard Dodd. So cool. I love living in Nashville. I mean, and he couldn't be a nicer guy. Who am I? I'm nobody, you know. It's awesome. So today, I really am trying to make this as high a quality of thing as I can. So rather than just turning it over to United and have them cut the lacquers, I took it to this place here in town called Welcome to 1979, and I got to sit in on having the lacquers cut, and that's what this is. This is my reference lacquer. This place has been around for about 6 years. This young guy named Cameron Henry cut it. He's around my nephew's age. And this place is totally devoted to analog. You guys would love this. They have a side business that restores tape machines. And so they have all kinds of multi-track and stereo tape machines. And they've got one specially made for cutting vinyl and vinyl. They used to outsource their vinyl cutting, but they were doing so much that they decided they would invest. First of all, find one, and then invest in a Neumann, vintage Neumann cutting lathe. The coolest thing. I took some pictures. I put some on Facebook. I'm going to put some on Flickr. I can't tell you how exciting it was to sit there, in front of this, massive thing, this lathe, and you press go, and here it is cutting into the. Now I'm going to show you one of these. So they're one sided. So here's side A, here's side B. They're really fragile. They're made out of aluminum with a lacquer coating, sort of like nail polish. So this is the B side. And here's the A side. It's been cut with a sapphire stylus. And there's a whole art to cutting vinyl. And, like I said, this guy's pretty young, but look on the walls, and right in front there's either test pressing or something right off the pressing of Albert Eiler's Spirits Rejoice. And turns out he'd done the cutting for these Bethlehem reissues. And I said, oh, well, if you know about Albert Eiler, then you're sympathetic to what I'm trying to do here. And he's like, oh, yeah, so he's done about 500 records so far, and he knew what he was doing. I can't tell you what it is like to have my music being played by my turntable. And the surface noise, which would normally annoy me, somehow adds to it. Well, you people who collect vinyl know this, but I've lived in the digital world as far as my own music, sort of like cassettes. To have it on, this is not vinyl obviously, but to play it on my turntable, and even with its flaws, wow, I'm swept away. Yeah, I'm excited. Can you tell? I'm excited. I had to come on and share this with you. I've set up a Bandcamp page, and my CD is up there, and I've also put up the digital CD master, which your dog made a separate 16-bit 44.1K CD Redbook master. So I put that master up on Bandcamp, and I've set up, you can download it for free, pay what you want. And I love Bandcamp because they offer lossless, so you can download a lossless version of this record for free for a limited time. Because of Record Store Day, which is Saturday, United Record Pressing here in Nashville is swamped, and so the lead time to actually get my record pressed, even if the masters are delivered tomorrow, is 8 weeks. So we're looking at realistically end of June before I have the record in hand. So I'm going to leave the free download up at least until the record is in hand. And you can pre-order the LP Tell you one thing I learned in this process of making a vinyl record is it's expensive. Um, I now understand why vinyl is so expensive. I have to charge $20 for the record, and that is barely covering the cost of making it. But it's going to be really nice. It's going to sound really good. I've really made every effort to make sure it sounds really good. And some of you are not going to like this. I've heard some people talk about not liking this kind of packaging, and I can understand. But I'm trying to make this like an art object. I'm working again with Griffin Norman, who did the design on my CD. And if you've seen it, you know, I mean, he's a total pro. He does all kinds of commercial design work. And he's a good friend. He's great to work with. So, but we had this idea. He's been working at this place called Isle of Printing here in Nashville. Cheers, DC. Just run by this local artist named Bryson Cloud, whom some of you may know. They've been doing a lot of work with Jack White on third band stuff. We had this crazy laser cutter thing. So, like that Paramount box they did, a lot of that was done at Isle Printing. But their meat and potato stuff is letterpress stuff. So, and having this laser cutter, they can do really amazing block print kind of things. So, our idea is to do a hand-pulled letterpress poster, a print, really. And this is not a new idea. Like I said, some people don't like this kind of packaging, but it's sort of like this. This is a local band here, sort of affiliated with Lamb Chop, called Hands Off Cuba. This is, I think, their first LP, From Arrival to Survival. So you can see it's a 13 by 25 piece of paper, folded in half, and then the record slips inside. And it's going to also be in a genuine Blake sleeve. Speaking of which, I haven't seen Blake in a while. Hope you're doing well. Thank God for the Blake sleeves. They're the best sleeves I've ever tried, and I've tried a million. So anyway, the packaging, if you go on Bandcamp, the artwork has nothing to do with what the album is going to look like, because, in fact, we don't even have the label design yet. Hoping to have that this week. But we have 8 weeks to play with this, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a hand-pulled art print. It's going to be numbered. And this is silk screen, but what we're going to do is letterpress, and we're going to really take advantage of the imperfections and the non-reproducibility of letterpress. So the imperfections so everyone is potentially going to be different. We may make some of them wildly different. Use different paper, different ink. So the idea is there's going to be this beautiful print, numbered print, that will potentially be quite different from number to number, with a record inside, with this music that you're listening to in the background. Now I know this isn't for everybody, and I make no big claims to be, I know I'm not Cecil Taylor, I'm not in that league, but this music, I've known Sam for a long time, we made music for a long time together, and this is the best music we've ever made. We both agree it's way better than what's going on here, if only because I was lost in the wilderness here, and in the meantime, we built this room, and I started playing, slowly getting my chops back, and I want to celebrate the joy of making music, the connectedness that music makes possible. I want to share it, and I hope you enjoy it. Check it out. Go to the Bandcamp page. Download it for free. If you hate it, fine. You know, if you like it, get a record. It's only going to be 200 of them, 180 gram. Oh, black vinyl. I'm sorry. I thought about colored vinyl. It's not the cost. I ultimately prefer black vinyl for whatever reason. So, Tim, if that bums you out, I'm sorry. Anyway, 15 minutes. That's longer than I wanted to go on, but I'm so excited. I'm so happy with the way this sounds. It's going to be cool. I can't wait to see what Griffin comes up with. Thanks for watching, listening. Thanks for your support. I love you all. Take care.